Hi everybody, it's Az here for Heel vs Babyface on the Alpha for Battle for Azeroth. Now over the course of the last couple of days, on Thursday I brought you a video about the changes to the Affliction spec on the Warlock. Yesterday I brought you the changes to the Destruction spec on the Warlock. So guess what? Yes, today we're going to deal with the changes to Demonology. On top of that, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my final thoughts and feelings about where I think Warlocks are right now, moving into the next expansion. But do, of course, always bear in mind, this is the alpha. We haven't even gone into beta testing. Things are complete and utterly subject to change at any moment. And I do expect there to be some changes, and I'll go into a couple of reasons why later in the video. Now, I've left Demonology to last, not necessarily because it's the most fun or powerful spec to test out at the moment, but I definitely have left it last because it is quite possibly the most bonkers spec by a considerable margin. Now, I have had my issues with Demonology. When I first started testing it in Legion, I thought, oh, this looks rather cool. We're getting loads of demons in, etc., etc. But the problem was, you ended up micromanaging the demons so much that you yourself didn't really seem to get involved in too much. You were getting your wild imps out, and then when the wild imps are out, you're getting the dreadstalkers out, and then you were casting the buffs on them to make them more powerful, and then after that the cooldown had probably vanished on them and they'd gone, so you had to bring more in, and then every so often you got to cast a spell or two. But that is no longer the case. There have been some severe tweaks and changes, but still trying to maintain the aspect of shitloads of demons. Now, what I don't normally show you in these videos is actually this specialization screen. I go straight to the talent tree, but I want to bring this up for a very particular reason. You see, Demonic Empowerment and Doom are both showing here, but this is clearly not updated yet because Demonic Empowerment has actually been removed from the game, as has Demon Wrath. So what Blizzard are doing is getting rid of a lot of those micromanagey spells, which I was kind of complaining about a little while ago, and replacing it with you actually doing something. Now, Doom can be in the game. However, if we switch to the talent tree now, it is actually a talent. And you can play Demonology Spec without having any dots whatsoever. So the spec itself is built around however many demons you can get into the fight, and also what support you give the demons with your other abilities on top of it. Now, the spec itself is built up on the generation of soul shards and using those soul shards to try and get demons into the fight. So pretty standard stuff. And yesterday I said a question, and my question was, if Destruction's Soulfire mated with Affliction's Deathbolt, what would their child be? And somebody replied in the comment section, they already did, and it's called Demon Bolt. And that's not actually true. Demon Bolt is very much a utility spell and not a POW spell like Soulfire or Deathbolt is. If you look at the tooltip over, it's actually that side for you, this side for me. Over at that side, you can see that it's a 4-second cast, obviously mitigated down with haste, and then really low damage. But the main thing is the bottom section. It generates 2 soul shards. You can, however, get insta procs of this. Somebody confused that yesterday with Soulfire. You can actually get insta procs of this, and that's what you're really looking for to generate you some quick soul shards. You don't really want to be casting this at all, only if you're complete and utterly out and you're desperate to grab a couple of soul shards. But even then, you could probably fire off a couple of quick casts here of Shadow Bolt, and that would do the job more efficiently for you. Shadow Bolt generating 1 soul shard per cast. So with that said, let's have a look now at the talent tree, because there's some pretty interesting stuff here. Then we're going to go into the gameplay, because the gameplay hopefully will bring some shocks and surprises to some of you. So it is big difference here between the talent tree of Legion and the talent tree that we have now. You'll see that Grimoire of Synergy has also left the game as well. So there's lots of things which have been tweaked and changed. I've gone personally with Growing Shadows. When your Deathstalkers charge into battle, their Dreadbite attack now hits all targets within 8 yards and deals 25% more damage. So it's a bit of a pow to start off with when you get your Dreadstalkers into the fight. Also, a bit of an AoE pow, which is never a bad thing. You also have Demonic Strength. Infuse your Felguard with Demonic Strength and command it to charge your target and unleash Felstorm that deals an additional 400% increased damage. That is a 1 minute cooldown ability. So again, it's quite situational. So if you really want to hold off for a minute and then send your Felguard in to do it sort of, then sure, why not? And then you've got the Scourge Bombers, which sounds pretty cool as well. Tear open a portal to the nether above the target's location, from which several Scourge will pour out of and crash to the ground over 6 seconds, dealing X amount of damage to all enemies in 10 yards. So you notice that's AoE related, AoE related, AoE related. Your demons producing AoE damage. And to be honest with you, I'm just playing with various ones. I'm currently playing with Growing Shadows. I'd very much like to try out the Scourge Bombers, which I will show you later in the video as well. And even Demonic Strength. I mean, you know, that could be very useful if you get overwhelmed by ads. We have on the second row Demonic Calling, passive ability. Shadow Bolt and Demon Bolt have a 20% chance to make your next call of Deathstalkers cost no soul shards and have no cast time. So obviously you can get your Dreadstalkers into the fight immediately. It's an existing talent that we have now. Power Siphon, instantly sacrifice up to 2 wild imps to generate 2 charges of Demonic Core. Bang bang, instanced. And then we have Doom. This is where you can actually get yourself a dot. But you'll notice a big difference here. Inflicts impending doom upon the target, causing X amount of shadow damage over 30 seconds. Of course, on live, that is substantially different. Now, if you're dealing with trash, the likelihood is your trash is not going to be... is going to be dead after a 30-second gap. So it's not really that useful on trash. More sustained fights, boss fights, yeah, absolutely. You know, that's definitely the place to chuck it. But with trash mobs, not really. We have our typical Demon Skin, Burning Rush, Dark Pact, Burning Rush, obviously. From the shadows on the next level, casting Call Dreadstalkers causes the target to take 20% additional Shadow Flame damage from you for the next 12 seconds. So obviously getting them into the fight, you're going to do increased damage. Soul Strike, instant, 10-second cooldown. Command your Felguard to strike into the soul of the enemy, dealing X amount of shadow damage. Okay. It says there also, talents can only be... Okay, yeah. Summon Vile Fiend. Now, I tested this one out. It can get clunky. So this is why I've switched it from Summon Vile Fiend to From the Shadows. But you can summon a Vile Fiend to fight for you for 15 seconds, 45-second cooldown. Then we have our typical CC level. Obviously, I think most people go for Demonic Circle. I'm personally going into AoE stuns. Inner Demons. You passively summon a Wild Imp to fight for you every 10 seconds. This is the next part that gets very interesting. And you have a 10% chance to also summon an additional demon to fight for you for 15 seconds. Now, there's something very specific said there. Additional demon. Not additional wild imp. Additional demon. Nod, nod, wink, wink. Then we have Soul Conduit. That's the chance to get the refunded soul shards for once, not utilising this because of inner demons. And then Grimoire of Service, where you can get another pet out and obviously join the pet brigade. But again, even with Summon Vile Fiend and to some degree the Scourge Bombers, I'm just finding that you could get just swamped in again, too much man management of demons. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit more simple myself. Obviously, you're absolutely able to change to how your playstyle works. Sacrifice souls, 100 yards range, passive. Each soul shard spent reduces the cooldown of summon Demonic Tyrant. We'll go on to Demonic Tyrant in a moment. Demonic Consumption, your Demonic Tyrant, we'll get onto him in a moment, now destroys and absorbs the remaining power of all your wild imps to empower itself. And then we have the ability that I went for, which is Nether Portal. 3 soul shard cost. Tear open a portal to the Twisting Nether for 20 seconds. Every time you spend soul shards, you will also command demons from the Nether to come out and fight for you. And once again, the emphasis is on command demons. No specific demon mention, just demons. There's quite a lot of demons in the game. And then we'll have a look at it down here. Summon Demonic Tyrant. It's on a 1.5 minute cooldown. Summon a Demonic Tyrant to increase the duration of all your current demons by 15 seconds. And increase the damage of all your other demons by 15% while casting Shadow Bolt Volley at all of the enemies. Okie dokie. So with that said, and those looked at, let's just get some gameplay going, and you can actually start to see what could potentially come into the fight, and obviously how fights could unravel. So what I want to do now, show some basic gameplay about getting your demons into the fight, and then using the Tyrant to buff them all. Also, if you're getting good procs from your Demon Bolt, and therefore managing to get soul shards back at a quick rate, there's also another ability, another spell in the equation, Implosion, which of course is used from Hearthstone, where you can send your imps to sacrifice themselves in a kamikaze AoE explosion. So you could use your Implosion and then get straight back onto Hand of Gul'dan to summon more of them back in. And it looks like you can only do a maximum of 3 summoning in at a time, instead of using all 5 soul shards to get a truckload. But bear in mind also, in the combat, we do have a random element that every 10 seconds there is a chance, a small chance, that I actually will summon in a random demon to the fight as well. I'm not going to use Nether Portal in this scrap. We're going to leave that to the rare mob that's just there, because it'll take longer to kill, and therefore I can get it out and really kind of hopefully show you how useful that is. So with just trash, going to open up with Hand of Gul'dan, smash, gets some wild imps into the fight, and then just get a couple of Shadow Bolts, then get the Stalkers in. Now the Stalkers are in, that's when you want to get your Tyrant, because your Tyrant is now buffing everything damage-wise, and also prolonging the time that they're in the fight. So you could now just jump straight away to another mob while you've got the buff and are crushing it. By the way, Demonic Tyrant looks awesome, and yes, he's casting, and then after his time's gone, he's gone. But look at all these, if I just stop fighting myself, all these fell bolts that are coming in from the imps as well. So those two mobs just got absolutely annihilated. So using that Demonic Tyrant to buff your demons really does make a considerable difference to your DPS. So what I've done now is I've actually replaced Growing Shadows with the Baal Scourge Bombers, because I said I wanted to test this. So we're gonna just go to an area where I've got a quest. Let's just fire in some more imps, and then get the Dreadstalkers in as we normally would. And now let's get the bombers in, and we'll get the Summon Demonic Tyrant. But look at the bombers coming in. Okay, they work pretty well. And it's only on a short cooldown as well. It's on a 30-second cooldown, so you can control where it goes. So let's keep up this momentum. Let's keep up this momentum with another goal and give it another bit of a crack. I don't know if this one's actually going to be dead. Here we go. In they come. Bang, 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 bang. It's AoE. It's AoE. So it really is a complete toss-up to you whether or not you decide that you're going to be better with your Dreadstalkers coming out and doing an AoE hum, or whether or not the Scourge Bombers, they look cool as regards to damage. You know, I guess it'll just all depend on how many mobs you have out at any one time that you're fighting. But probably pretty good in packs of AoE, especially in dungeons and stuff. Now, I've just cleared the area of small crabs, because I'm going to summon in the rare, and I really don't want to have them tagging along in the meantime. So, what I'm going to try and do is get the nether portal into this one, and see if we get anything interesting through. So again, opening up with the imps coming in. But one thing that you're probably going to notice, and notice quite considerably, is the fact that your demon, when it goes up against something of any kind of power whatsoever, is pretty weak, and already it's down into the 60% health. So you do spend a lot of time, unfortunately, with stuff like this, healing it back up. And if you don't, then it is just going to put you in trouble. It's as simple as that. So now the portal's open. Let's get the Hand of Gul'dan in, so we can get some cost going. Let's get some more Soul Shard cost going there. And again, let's get some more imps. See what else we can get into the fight. And now it's finally gone. So we got, look at this bunch of demons coming in here. We've got one of those. We've got one of the dogs. We've got dogs at the back. We've got fellhounds at the back. So it's summoning quite a few demons to aid in our scrap there. But you just never know what is actually going to come through. As I once again have to start topping up my demon here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, one thing that I have kind of had a go about WoW in recent years is it's just so easy. There's no threat in the outside world anymore. If you go outside, you know, the only things that are really going to kill you is if you pull 58 mobs at a time, or you decide to solo a world boss. And let's just be honest, even that now is in the range of quite a few of the classes. So I can't really complain when something like this rare actually puts up a fight. Sadly, though, we do tend to find, because I have gone through Mist's beta testing, Warlord's alpha beta, Legion alpha beta, and now into the alpha of Battle for Azeroth, you do tend to find that the challenge kind of comes in the alphas and betas, and then by the time it goes to live, it's been nerfed considerably, which is a bit of a shame, because I quite like the fact that we actually had to have a fight there and get quite a few of our abilities out, plus healing of the demons to actually stay. But that's a different discussion for a different video, because I said some very interesting things can come through the portals, either through inner demons or that nether portal. So I guess I'm just going to have to keep killing stuff until it does. the fight. He's a random summon from either Inner Demons or the Nether Portal. And Mao Chi is willing to fight for you. He was the final boss in the OG Karazhan. But now he bends to your will. And yeah, so there is the opportunity to get a huge Prince Malchazar coming in, fighting on your behalf. And I've got to say, he's not just all size, he pancakes the living crap out of stuff when he does come in. And I'd really like to see that active in a PvP battle, where somebody goes up thinking, ha ha ha, squishy Warlock. And then suddenly Prince Malchazar comes flying through a portal to attack said person. But holy cow, that is just... When that happened for the very first time on stream, I was just utterly blown away. And in actual fact, somebody did clip the video of that. It was just a wonderful thing to see that instead of... And there was a lot of variety with the demons that you saw. You know, I had some more Fel Guards. I had Shivara. I had the Stayers, Satires, whatever's. Those, you know, I had the Fel Bats. I had the Fel Hounds. I had the Cro-Magnus Hounds. You know, there were so many different varieties of demons which are coming through the portals. It's just absolutely fantastic to see that one of them can actually be the boss of a raid. Now, one thing that I do think is missing, Blizz, and I am not trying to be a douche here, I promise you, is there any chance, pretty please, with Sugar on top, that one of the potential pops through the portals could be a Pit Lord? I'm not asking for Manaroth or anything like that, just a Pit Lord. Any Pit Lord will do. Because I think that would be absolutely fantastic as well. And if you wanted to, Blizz, you could really go with the full immersion of it, and it could come out and maybe heal you and heal your pets or something like that instead of doing damage. Because, you know, Pit Lords are healers after all. So, yeah, Demonology. I mean, what can you say about it? It is just crazy. It's just an oh shit kind of spec at the moment. Damage-wise, I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Rotation-wise, not got a clue right now. Apart from getting the demons and getting the demons buffed. But other than that, it is just really, really good fun to play. Especially when you've got inner demons active and you've got a random chance of stuff coming through. And also, if you've got Nether Portal available, and again, Prince Malchazar can come through the Nether Portal too. So you've got the chance to get something rather incredible flying through your portals to aid in your battle. But my goodness me, yeah, it is a little bit crazy to say the least. So now that I've dealt with all three specs for a Warlock in the current state in Alpha for Battle for Azeroth, what are my impressions of the state of the class? Well, I thought Affliction was so much fun to play. I really did. And then especially with Deathbolt really giving it a whack. For a class, of course, that tends to be based around getting a lot of dots going, I thought that was just one of the most fun things I've had to do gameplay-wise with the Affliction spec. Destruction, I was kind of the ilk that it was certainly improving, but maybe not quite there. But then at the end of the video, when for the very first time I brought Soulfire into the equation, it really kind of changed the dynamic. And in actual fact, there's a possibility that Destruction might be my favourite spec at the moment. Purely down to the, first of all, to the new animations of the spells just looking fantastic. But secondly, because of the legitimate explosive nature of the spec, it does kind of feel as if it's getting back to its old school roots. And, oh, that is very exciting indeed. We're not going to get back to the Mist of Pandaria, but this is, I think, is as close, really, as you're going to get in this day and age. And then Demonology. It's a weird one. It's so much fun in regards to what demons can come out, but I still feel it's a bit chaotic. And I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, to be honest with you. It just seems a little bit way and a little bit whoa and whatnot out there. But when you do get things like Mao Chi coming in and fighting for you, the feels that gives and the pop and the little in your heart that gives, that's a feeling that I haven't had from playing a spec in so long that gave me genuine goosebumps. So you've got to give props to that. Something you would have never expected. Hey, Demonology Warlock, yeah? Fancy summoning in a raid boss? What? Yeah? So you had your opportunity and you got it so far in this expansion. Things which some people may or may not like. Life tap completely gone from the game. Yeah, it's an old school favourite, but life tap doesn't have the power and the actual versatility that it had back in the day. It really meant something back in the day. Over the course of the last few years, it's really just been a means to an end and nothing more. So I'm okay with life tap being removed from this version of World of Warcraft. Also, so far, and I say so far because I do expect it to make an appearance before Battle for Azeroth goes live, so far no Doomguard. Although Destruction is the only spec to get Guardian demons, and it does have the Infernal, there is no Doomguard, which is a little bit of a head-scratcher, because it's a great-looking model, a new-looking model as well. So why that hasn't been popped in, I'm not sure. Maybe Blizzard just thinking of a way to potentially work Doomguard in, but I suspect that it may probably make an appearance, even if it's coming through the portal for a Demonology Warlock. Even if it's coming through a portal to aid, it might come through there. But I think Warlocks are in a fantastic position right now. Not just in terms of damage, because you can't levy how much damage is going to be tweaked and changed and everything before the release of an expansion. But from a gameplay perspective, more importantly, Affliction's fun, Destruction's fun, and Demonology is mental. Absolutely crazy. And I think that is a really good spot to be in. So I really hope you've enjoyed this series of videos that are done on the Warlock specs so far. If you do, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Because if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notifications when I actually release a video, as opposed to it just being lost in your sub feed and coming back to it several weeks later. Also, my social media links and live streaming stuff is in the description box down below. Please follow me there too. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.